Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to go through some of the disease-modifying therapies that you can go on to treat MS. Because I'm having the discussion now with my MS specialist about what treatment I'm going to go on. So I thought I'd share that with you, the information that I've learned, and kind of what the various therapies do and how they can help, just so that if you're in the same situation as me, trying to make up your mind of what you're going to go on, then this can give you a better idea of the treatment options that are currently out there and what effect they can actually have on the disease itself. If you like the video, as always, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more MS related videos and follow my journey battling MS.
I used to like seeing you in town. Now it's strange when you're not around. I used to like seeing you in town. Now it's strange when you're not around.
So I'll start off then talking about the first line treatment. So these are the harder hitting drug modifying therapies that are out there on the market, because those are the ones that are being discussed for me. Because I'm at the stage now where I've caught it relatively early in the process. From the MRIs and stuff, they seem to think that there is quite a lot of activity going on there. So they're really keen to hit it hard straight away, which was what I was going for. That was all I ever wanted to do as well. So it's really great that we're on the same page there. But there are a few options to me at the minute. So the main options that I'm being discussed to go on are Ocrevus, Tysabri, and also potentially, but probably not, Lemtrada. So I'll go through those three first in a bit more detail. So Lemtrada is the one that, from my early research, that was kind of what I was keen to get on, because it's essentially chemotherapy actually that pretty much wipes away your immune system. So it's the one that they don't tend to use that much now because of those side effects, because it's essentially wiping away your immune system. So especially during a global pandemic, they're not really keen to wipe away people's immune systems left, right and centre. So that's why kind of Lemtrada has been pushed to one side, and my MS specialist told me that there's been a few more side effects reported as well, and so they kind of aren't seeing it as worth it unless you're in really desperate need of just getting rid of that immune system. So that's the main benefit of Lemtrada, and that was the reason that I thought I wanted to go on it, because I thought everything that I'm doing on the dieting side should prevent any future attacks if I were to get rid of my current immune system that has learnt those bad habits and is already attacking myself. So the thought process going through my head was, if I could just wipe my immune system clean slate, and then because I'm on the best bet diet, I'm not giving my body a reason to then attack itself again in the future. So in my mind, that would be a straight set for, no relapses in the future. So I was really keen to get on that initially, but ever since I've talked to my MS specialist about it, they have kind of talked me out of it and said, look, the side effects do kind of outweigh the positives when you've got Ocrevus and Tysabri that can do a similar job in terms of their efficacy, but don't quite have the same side effects. With Lemtrada, you tend to get it through an intravenous drip, and it tends to be 2 separate bouts of treatment a year apart. So you'll have one, and I think you stay in hospital for kind of 5 days in a row where you get the treatment, and then you don't see a doctor again for the next year. Well, you'll obviously have your checkups, but you won't get any actual treatment again until a year later, and then you have another 3-day stint of the drug, and then that's kind of you set then with further feedback of how things are going. You might get on another treatment or whatever, but that tends to be the course for Lemtrada. So Ocrevus then is another disease-modifying therapy. This again suppresses your immune system, not quite in the same way that Lemtrada does, where it wipes out the immune system. This is more working in your immune system just to suppress it and hopefully suppress your immune system from attacking itself in the autoimmune way that your body does with MS. So hopefully stopping your body from attacking the myelin sheath and then stopping any further relapses and really slowing that process so that the disease doesn't really process as quick as it would naturally. From all the research that I've done and a lot of the stuff that I've heard in like Facebook groups and stuff, Ocrevus can be really, really effective. From what I see, it and Tysabri and Lemtrada, the ones that I've mentioned as well, they tend to be the most effective, but Ocrevus out of the 3 seems to have the fewest side effects from what I can see initially anyway, but it still has a strong efficacy. So I think that's the one that that MS specialist is pushing me to, and I think it's the one I'm going to go to at this stage, although I'm not sure. And Ocrevus is similar to Lemtrada. It's taken intravenously, but this time you get an infusion once every 6 months. So that cycle just repeats, and you just get the infusion, and then 6 months later again, and so on and so forth. Because that leads me on to Tysabri, which from what I can see is slightly more effective than Ocrevus, just a little bit more, but there are links to, you have to get tested for the JCV virus, and if you're JCV virus positive, then you can't go on Tysabri because it basically increases your risk of getting a brain disease that doesn't sound very nice, and I'm not going to go into those details, but basically a really not nice brain problem that could be basically ignited if you're JCV positive. So that's why they always do that test first. But if you're negative, then the chances are you'll be fine. But there's still that risk of contracting that really dangerous brain disease. So that's what's kind of putting me off going on Tysabri at all. Even if I come back JCV negative, I'll definitely talk to the MS specialist about it and kind of bounce ideas around just in case, you know, it would be more effective than Ocrevus, and from what he told me as well, I'm more likely to get on Tysabri quicker because there's fewer people going on it than Ocrevus, so there's less of a kind of delay at the minute. So that's kind of playing in my mind as well, that maybe if I could just get on it as soon as possible, if I am JCV negative. But from everything that I've researched, it seems to be the most effective treatment. So you've just got to balance it out with that risk of getting that brain disease that I can't think of the name right now, but it's something quite long. So I'll look into it actually. Yeah, so that brain infection that you can get from Tysabri is called PML, or let me try and pronounce this. Progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy. But basically it's as nasty as it sounds, and there's quite a high risk of dying. So that's why it's quite important to get tested for this JCV virus, and that's the kind of risk that you take on with Tysabri, even though it tends to be one of the most effective treatments. Tysabri is taken intravenously, and it's once every month an infusion again. So how Tysabri works, it's similar to Ocrevus. It binds to your T cells, so some of your immune cells, and it binds to them, and the idea is that it stops them from getting into the brain and the spinal cord, where they can then attack your myelin sheath and cause the lesions that are associated with MS. So that's how it works technically, but obviously it's one of those things, you can't completely stop it, and that's why none of these treatments unfortunately are 100% effective at stopping MS. So those three are the main second line treatments, so they're the hardest hitting treatments that I'm looking to take on. And then if your MS isn't quite as active, then you might get pushed down the route of a first line treatment, which tend to be not quite as effective, but they have fewer side effects. And so they're more for people that, yeah, their MS isn't really affecting them. Maybe they're sort of later on in life and they don't really want the side effects that a Lemtrada or an Ocrevus might provide for them. And so you go on the first line treatments instead, see how you react off them. And if you react really positively, then you'll just stay on that and that'll be fine. But if it's not really working, then you can get pushed on to the second line treatment, the Ocrevus, Tysabri, Lemtrada, something like that, and it can work that way. But obviously in my case, they've decided just to jump straight for the second line treatment because it's looking quite active, and also I've caught it quite early, so they essentially just want to hit it now and halt it, stop it right in its tracks really early in the disease process. I don't know too much about the first line therapies because, as I say, they haven't really pushed me in that direction at all, but I'll leave a link down to some links below where you can check out the various first line therapies to go along, because there's quite a few different ones along with the second line therapies that I've discussed here as well. So unfortunately then, as we know, there's still no cure for MS. All these treatments are trying to do is just suppress the immune system, so essentially just hold it back from going crazy and AWOL, which is what is happening in people with MS. So it's just trying to stop those immune cells from attacking your spinal cord and your brain, which is causing the lesions, which is causing the neurological damage associated with MS. So that's all that we can do at this stage. So it's one of those things where it sounds like it works great for some people. Like a lot of people say that Lemtrada has worked amazing for them, pretty much stopped the disease in its tracks. Then other people have said, didn't really do anything for me. So it is a bit of a gamble, and similar with the other ones, some people swear by Ocrevus and say, wow, it was incredible. I'm back to full health and haven't had a relapse in 5 years or whatever it is. And then other people say it's not really had much effect and they've carried on progressing. So it definitely affects different people in different ways. And so that's why I'm a really strong advocate in doing whatever you can personally to halt the process, the disease process as well. So whatever you can do on the diet side, like I'm doing, looking into specific diets like the Best Bet diet, what you can do with your lifestyle, so managing stress, keeping up with exercise, all of those play a massive factor in the immune regulation within your body. Making sure you're getting enough vitamin D, all the different minerals as well. I'm probably going to do a video at some point talking about what supplements I'm taking, so what vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. But there's so much out there that you can be doing yourself, and you don't have to just rely on these drugs as the be it or end all. I'm just seeing it as cherry on the cake, so to speak. So I'm doing everything I can on the diet and the lifestyle side of things, and then if the drugs can help as well, then that's a massive bonus. But if not, then I'm doing everything that I can, because I think that plays a bigger factor. If you can tick off those things, then you can have a much better prognosis. So that's pretty much what I know just now about the various treatments that you can go on for MS and the ones that are obviously being pushed on towards me for me to take. Obviously, consult with your doctor and look at all the information that's out there on the internet. There's loads of great websites like the MS Society, MS Trust, and they've got loads of information about the various treatment options, what they do, what their side effects are, because it's a big decision at the end of the day. You've really got to balance up the pros and the cons of what this can do for you and what the side effects might be. Is it going to be worth it in the long run for you? So there's a lot to take in, but hopefully my videos helped in your decision. Please let me know in the comments below what you're doing, what treatments worked for you, what hasn't worked. I'd love to know, because I'm still in the decision-making process myself, so any thoughts could really help. And also let me know if you've got any more questions, any ideas for any future videos, because I'd love to know, because yeah, I'm building a really good community here, getting some really good comments from a lot of my other videos, so it's really great that my videos are helping people, and I'm learning a lot as well. People are adding some really valuable comments, so please do keep them coming. As I said before, if you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and stick with me on this journey, and we can do this together essentially and really overcome this disease. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you over in the next video.
I used to like seeing you in town.